Hi, I'm John McAuliffe, Chief Marketing Officer of VFM Leonardo, and welcome to the VTV channel. VTV is a weekly series of interviews with industry experts on the latest topics in travel e-business and specifically online merchandising practices that help hoteliers extract more value out of their online presence. As always, we encourage you to email us at vtv@vfmleonardo.com to suggest topics that you would like us to cover in future episodes. Today, I'm joined by Francois Mourier, founder and CEO of RevPAR Guru. RevPAR Guru's yield dynamic price engine is an integrated revenue management and pricing solution for the hotel industry. Jean-Francois's background is in finance, pricing and technology, and revenue management. Jean-Francois, thank you for joining us on VTV today.
Hi, John. Thank you for the opportunity.
Today, we'd like to further our discussion that we've been having about how to differentiate your hotel online and optimize conversions. And our topic today is about content, probably more about visual content, but certainly textual and visual content, and how hoteliers can use content to optimize their conversions online. Certainly, research of travel shopper behavior proves that content is highly influential on hotel booking decisions. In fact, we have conducted a number of tracking studies with hotels and hotel chains where we have been able to determine that travel shoppers who view richer forms of visual content like 360 spins or virtual tours and video are more likely to book than those who do not. In fact, there's a segment of travel shopper that avoids staying at hotels if they do not see written and visual content that helps them feel comfortable. Jean-Francois, do you have any insights that you would like to share on how visual content influences conversions?
Well, visual content and written content on the web is basically the window to the outside world of the hotels. So the way the hotels present themselves to the outside world is extremely important. I'll go into more detail about how it goes, but basically, if you look at a hotel, that we had some examples of some of our clients that were taking pictures of their hotel, and we're not careful of taking the best angles and the best pictures without lying or telling something not correct, but they were not taking good pictures of their hotels and not showing their hotels in a perfect light, and they would basically have one of their employees take the picture instead of having a professional take the picture. The difference that we saw in the sales for this particular hotel was dramatic. And let's face it, if you present yourself for an interview or a job interview in joggings, I think your opportunity or chance of getting the job rather than having a suit and tie is going to be quite different. Well, the outside world that people have towards your hotel is basically what they see. And what they see needs to be presented in the best possible light. The second part, that I like to talk about, if you go into more detail, is what you need to offer the consumer is a kind of a dream, and that's where the video that you talked about, is important. The consumer is actually taking a trip, is going outside of their old world and going to this new world. And when they go to this new world, they need to be invited into the new feelings that they're going to have and the new emotions that they're going to feel and the new things that they're going to see. So it's got to be something that encompasses an emotion and a feeling and some kind of a voyage when you sell it on the web. So that's why you need to show the best pictures, but also the atmosphere that you're going to get when you get there.
So let me ask you, Jean-Francois, you work with a lot of hotels with your yield management and revenue management technologies, optimizing their conversions on OTAs. Do you see anything that impacts conversions over and above price when it comes to content? So, for example, all things being equal, if there's two hotels out there with the same star ratings, the same rates, same location, amenities, does content, or visual content in particular, does that impact their bookings from what you've seen quantitatively?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course it does. Some of it, simple tricks that I would give to hoteliers is, for instance, also on the name. Whenever they have a name on the web, they should have a name that is uniform, meaning that they should have a name on all OTAs that are exactly the same, and their website should be also called the same. You had an interview before talking about the billboard effect. The billboard effect is also enhanced when your name is matching the name that you have on the OTAs. Why am I saying this? Is because it's the very the title that you have. So, for instance, we had one of our clients that was a hotel, which was an all-suite hotel, and this all-suite hotel was on the beach. Unfortunately, the name that they gave was just the name of the hotel, not giving in the name that this hotel was on the beach and that it was an all-suite hotel. Kind of missed out on the message, and they missed out on a lot of sales. So on that very simple fact of a title, which is the contents as well, the very beginning of it, that is very, very important. And that will make a difference just on the title, on how people will perceive you and what people know about you and the information you convey out there. Now, I'm not saying to have a title that makes a whole paragraph, but in a concise, few words, that you say, what the hotel is all about. And I think that's the very first step of content.
Right. It sounds like one of the things that you talked about in that was consistency and using the same title wherever your hotel is listing. Is that the same for other forms of content that are being displayed about your hotel on the thousands of channels that might be listed on? Is consistency an important element in optimizing your conversions?
I would say so. I think you're trying to convey, the same message, and I think, with maybe some exceptions, I would say that if you're, a luxury brand, you might convey yourself on some specific websites, maybe like Splendia or Tablet Hotels, and which might be more interested in the vision and the atmosphere that the consumers are going to feel, rather than just the star rating and the room. So because now we're going into an era whereby in the internet we're going into pockets of society whereby you have the mass market and then you have a very specialized markets. So then it doesn't work all the time, but I would say on the major OTAs, you want to keep the same message. On the specialized OTAs, which cater to a different type of customers, then you might want to change your message slightly.
Jean-Francois, I recently read an article that you published where you said, and I quote you, "Hotels can expand their online presence and technological profile before engaging in radical discounting. Working with more online sites, including OTAs and other directed travel sites, can help boost both occupancy and RevPAR without necessitating a rate hike or rate reductions." Is there any relationship between having visual content available on these channels and a hotel's ability to get bookings at higher rates?
The way I would, the angle I would take on this is that the more OTAs that you have, and that goes back to your, one of your previous interviews about the billboard effect, which I think, is very powerful, and I totally subscribe to, that you need to be present in as many OTAs as possible. The way that it works right now is that your average hotel will have 5 or 6 different OTAs that they go for. On this one, I think right now, the numbers that we update is about 120 different OTAs that we update. So we use the billboard effect to the maximum effect. In other words, every single time you expose yourself to Expedia, about 30% of the bookings, or 30% of the people that go on this website of Expedia will go directly to your website. And the more of these that you have, of Expedias, the Orbitses, and etc., the more conversions you will get going back to, to your website. So if you extrapolate, the angle, and instead of going 5, you go 100, well, the effects will be multiplicated, and the effects will be, changed. So therefore, it will increase your sales dramatically, it will increase your ADR, and it will increase your revenues dramatically.
Right. So this is an interesting statistic. You're seeing that 30% of the people that are going to OTAs then go on to that hotel's own website.
Yes, absolutely. This is what we're seeing is actually, this is a trend that is actually increasing. And unfortunately, Expedia and Orbitz are not very happy about this because what they're utilized for is basically a Google for hotels.
Right.
And so they basically utilize Expedia and to find the right hotel in the right location with a specific review and etc. And then once they've identified that hotel, then they're going to go directly to the website's hotel and then book directly with the hotel. And to be honest, it makes sense because if you're going to book the hotel, you want a one-on-one relationship, with your hotels, and that's kind of important as well. And it's important for the consumers to have a one-on-one relationship as well.
So it certainly sounds like the hotel's opportunity or the hotelier's opportunity is to ensure that the visual presentation that they have on these OTAs is the most enhanced and most indicative of what their hotel's like, in order to maximize not only the conversions on that site, but certainly the amount of traffic that they're driving to their own sites and converting on their websites.
Just a note, though, is that not all OTAs will allow you to control the content and to control the pictures. So that's a flexibility that I think they will give, but it's not a flexibility that is available on all OTAs at the moment.
Jean-Francois, thank you very much for sharing your insights with us today on VTV. We appreciate that, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Jean.
To all the viewers out there, be sure to post your comments on this episode of VTV and subscribe to our feed to receive more valuable insights from industry experts.